Hey everyone, just in case you didn't catch as much of the Christmas spirit, that sort of Christmas magic as you might have wanted to over this just now passing recent holidays, I've got one last Christmas story for you. Send us all with a nice dose of the true magic of Christmas, sailing off together into 2021. Which is going to be, as we all know, I think, the strangest year of our lives. Okay, and so without further ado, I bring you from Things That Happened in Temporary Homes by me, Larry's wife. Santa Claus farted. What, you're surprised? You didn't think old St. Nick ever had gas? Well, come on now. Just imagine if you had to drink millions of glasses of milk in one night. Even if you had magical powers, which Santa Claus obviously does, I mean, come on, that is a lot of milk. It's why I, instead of leaving milk out for old Mr. Kringle, instead, I leave a package of Rolaids, along with a note, handwritten, that says, "Dear Chris, hope your night is going well. Take as many as you need. Merry Christmas. Xmas." As a result, every Christmas morning, next to my Christmas tree, I find parked there a brand new BMW. That's how I know he has magic powers, because I have no idea how he got that thing into my living room. It was a real pain in the ass to get it out. We considered knocking down the wall, but there are some beautiful rose bushes. We considered knocking down the wall, but there are some beautiful rose bushes just on the other side of that wall, which are lovely to look at through the window. And once we knocked down the wall, those would have had to be taken out as well. So instead, we hired some people to take the whole car apart, piece by piece, carry it out the front door, and reassemble it in the driveway. It was pretty expensive. We had to take out a second mortgage on the house to pay for the whole process. I considered writing Santa an angry letter, but then I thought to myself, hey, getting angry won't solve anything. Plus, I enjoyed driving the BMW around. Larry, the neighbor, his wife started making eyes at me. Which is like, okay, Larry's wife, whatever. My wife is way prettier than you. But still, it's nice to have someone make eyes at you. So instead, when next Christmas rolled around, I built a fireplace and chimney in my garage and put the Christmas tree in there as well. My wife and kids thought it was weird, but I was like, hey, I know what I'm doing. Then I said, hey, get off my back already, because they kept bothering me about it. After that, they all shut up, because they know when I tell them to get off my back already, that I mean business. So they didn't say anything else about it, but they did keep rolling their eyes, which was like, okay, wife and kids, whatever. I mean, go ahead and roll your eyes, if that's what gets you through the day. I mean, sheesh, whatever. So anyways, when Christmas Eve came, I left a pack of Rolaids and a note again. I considered typing the note on my computer and printing it, but in the end decided a handwritten note was still the way to go. Lo and behold, Christmas morning comes, and a brand spanking new BMW is parked in my garage. Boy, did I make my wife and kids eat crow. Literally. I had killed a crow earlier that week, and I cooked and served it to them Christmas morning. They were like, hey, this turkey tastes weird. And I was like, ha, that's because it's actually not turkey, it's crow. They didn't believe me at first, so I showed them some selfies I took of me with the crow, plucking it and cooking it. Then they were like, why did you do that? And I was like, duh, to make you eat crow literally, not just metaphorically, after I had to tell you to get off my back already about building a fireplace and chimney in the garage and putting the Christmas tree out there. And you did get off my back but kept rolling your eyes, but now there's a brand new BMW in the garage. After that, they got it, and admitted that it was a pretty good joke to make them literally eat crow, not just metaphorically. which I figured would happen since I know my wife and kids have a pretty good sense of humor. Plus, the crow wasn't that bad tasting, really. It's good because now when I say something like, "No, I don't think that was thunder," it sounded more like a fart. And it's Christmas Eve and Santa has to drink millions of glasses of milk and probably gets gassy. So instead of thunder, I bet that was him farting. Anyways, now when I say something like that, my wife and kids don't all just give me a bunch of grief about it. Plus, the whole experience has also taught me the value of a nice handwritten note. If I had just left the Rolaids without a note, or even with a note I typed on my computer and printed out, I'm pretty sure I would have just gotten an Isuzu or something. Which would be fine, Isuzus are okay. But obviously a BMW is way cooler. I'm pretty sure Larry's wife wouldn't make eyes at me if I was driving around in an Isuzu. Which she keeps doing, by the way. Come on, Larry's wife. My wife is way prettier. Seriously, whatever. Can you see the snow gently falling from the sky? Falling from the sky all around my eyes. Can you see the snow gently falling from the sky? Into and all around my eyes. Into and all around my eyes. We're just pilgrims in the new world. We're just pilgrims in the new world. Do, re, mi, do, re, mi, do, re, mi, fa, sol, la, ti, do, 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 re, mi, it's all about me. Do, re, mi, it's all about me. Do, re, mi, fa, sol, la, ti. Are we afraid to tie the ties that bind? Are we afraid to tie the ties that bind? The ties that bind. The ties that bind. Cha. I don't think there's any other Christmas themed stories in here. Ooh, but there's a baller one I want to read. Let's try this one. This one's short. It's called Desire Functions. Like desire-functions. Desire functions. This is the mechanisms. Desire functions. Desire functions. So we blow and fly across the scape of the land, billowing ubiquities that stream for our heart's desire functions. A regiment marched with ill intent across the sands of time. Another regiment was downtrodden, and yet a third, other and final regiment was blown to bits and smithereens by the alien cyborgs with special ray guns. Fat Charlie ran and ran, trying to get less fat, but instead he got more fat. Scientists attempted to explain away this unusual phenomenon by resorting to more of their godless liberal bullshit. But that's not the one I wanted to read. Ooh, where is it? Ooh, where is it? Ooh, where is it? This one makes my spine tingle. I feel like a lot of people will be incensed and enraged that I wrote this poem, that I put it in a book I self-published, and that I would read it, that I would continue to in any way put it into the world or promote it. I have this feeling that, yeah, some of you who encounter this poem will be enraged, perhaps, deeply wounded, feel deeply wounded. All I can tell you is, I thought about all of that before I put it in here. It's short. And it's appropriate poem, actually, for the eve of the NFL playoffs, which are here. And, for the first time, Wildcard Weekend has 6 teams participating instead of 12 teams participating. That's what I meant. So instead of 4 games, there's 6 games. 3 on Saturday and 3 on Sunday. A football orgy. Which I intend to take part as much as I possibly can. Go Bills, go Saints. There's a lot of teams I like this year. Collect Crushing. Collect Crushing. That's the title. Collect Crushing. Here goes. Starts off with the bang, and then just is short. It's quite short. It's like pulling off a band-aid if it hurts. You'll get through. It's like 10 seconds. Title one more time. Well, I'm gonna do a thing. It's from my anime ninja show recently. It's both funny and serious and interesting and cool. It's kind of like Harry Potter, but cooler in Japan. Okay. Here it comes. Collect Crushing. Thank goodness for slavery in America, because only the very strongest survived, and now we reap the joy of that genetic inheritance as their progeny's progeny collect crushing sacks and score athletically magnificent touchdowns. One more time. If I'm going to say it, I might as well say it twice. Collect Crushing. If I'm going to read it. I'm going to read it. Because I'm interpreting this myself. Collect Crushing. Thank goodness for slavery in America, because only the very strongest survived, and now we reap the joy of that genetic inheritance as their progeny's progeny collect crushing sacks and score athletically magnificent touchdowns. One more time. Collect Crushing. Thank goodness for slavery in America, because only the very strongest survived. And now we reap the joy of that genetic inheritance as their progeny's progeny collect crushing sacks and score athletically magnificent touchdowns. And now we reap the joy of that genetic inheritance as their progeny's progeny collect crushing sacks. I love Von Miller. He's my favorite player ever. Crushing sacks. The best NFL dancer of all time. As their progeny's progeny collect crushing sacks and score athletically magnificent touchdowns. There's a lot of spectacular plays that players have made over the years that I've seen. But to me, when I read something like athletically magnificent, what always comes up for me, there's 2 things. There was a moment of one game late in the season between 2 good teams when I realized that both teams wanted to win, and they had stopped thinking about money or prestige or fame. They just wanted to win. And so they were killing each other. It was amazing because they twisted through the air in beautiful, stupendous ways, contorted their bodies in these beautiful, goal-oriented pirouettes through space and time. That's one. And then two is the way that Randy Moss would catch the football. Like in the end zone, running across the back, and the ball would zip in, he just kind of like a fox, the same way a fox looks to be floating across the field when it's at top speed. He would just kind of like, whew, and be like sliding through the air, like air surfing. And he just let the ball come and it would just die there, just nestle in his body right next to his heart. And then he just, boom, come down, and it was over. Randy Moss. I hear what you're saying about stats, Randy. 100%. I agree. 100%. Here, come back.